Bring the October 22nd, 2025 meeting of the Board of Water Commissioners for the Katuitt Fire District to order. We have with us myself, Mark Robinson, Chair.
David Sherbuck.
Online we have
Scott Horsley.
Can't see him. Can hear him.
Can't
There
see
he
me?
is.
No, because he's not
Okay,
on
now we
mic.
can see you. We'll let Jen look at your
Yeah,
handsome
you're good.
face. You're in Vermont?
I am.
Good for you.
No snow yet.
Yeah, we're gonna try to move this along. I just want to say that riding my bike here tonight, it occurred to me to go on the record and say, is there any place prettier in the fall than Katuitt?
Vermont.
Hearing none, I'll take a motion to say Katuitt is the prettiest place in the fall. All in favor, say aye. Okay. Is there any public comment? I see no public in the audience. Is there any public online? Guess not. So I assume there's no public comment. If any public does arrive, we will invite them to participate. Oh, they're not public, you're private. Good to see you, Mr. Cambrera.
Thank you.
So we have you down here under old business, which means the business is old.
Really old.
I thought it meant we were doing business with an old person.
I didn't say that, see, I left others to make that inference. We'll start with our water quality report from the superintendent.
All right, as you can see in here, there's you guys had asked me to stop doing sodium, but we had some pending tests out there, so we just put them together to give you the last report that you'll get for a while. I'm gonna go back to the once a year in the IOCs when we do those.
So they continue to be jumping all around, up and over and under 20 limit.
Yeah, it's
Lowest since 2010.
yeah, they're back down, it seems. I don't know if our meetings and everything else
But
had a little effect, or it's just the fact that we didn't get any snow last year and all. So,
But we also, you know, how fast does this stuff migrate? And there's
Right.
gotta be a lag time, right? Anyway, thank you for the information. I don't discern any trend. But it's good information to have, so.
the month of
I'll just-
September had,
Scott, did you have something, Scott?
Yeah, thank you. I'll just add, I'm doing some work for the towns of Truro and Provincetown. And they're projecting their new public water supply up there to have 60 milligrams per liter of sodium. And that's going to be acceptable for a new well. I should say between 40 and 60. So just to put these numbers in perspective, even though they're hovering a little bit above 20, there's so many other supplies that are higher than this.
Is that because of saltwater intrusion being such a shallow lens?
Yeah, I think it is. And they're pumping and, they're getting a little bit of an impact, but they're looking at putting a new well in and the projection is to go up to 60.
Yeah,
And they're saying that's okay. So
okay, thanks.
it's kind of a,
The pumping rates?
yeah,
did I lose you guys? No.
a total hit at a residence down on Katuitt Bay Drive. First time in a couple of years it's happened to us. We had a residual there. Not sure what's happened, but we took a repeat sample today and an upstream and a downstream, and are waiting results on those.
How did they know? Or how did you know?
I got a call from the lab yesterday afternoon that it was total coliform present, E. coli negative.
What was that, one of our samples?
Yeah, it was a monthly sample that we take, that we do every month, and it was just. I don't know if it was because it was during a rainstorm, I don't know if it's because of our pumpage dropping down so much. And we're not putting as much water into the system as we usually do. It could have been lab error, we'll find out. But I'll keep you guys informed if anything happens. either way.
Okay.
I see that. You have something here. I can go right into my report if you want on that.
Please.
In September of 2024, we pumped 22,182,000 gallons of water. In September of 2025, we pumped 21,487,000 gallons of water for a decrease of 695,000 gallons of water. First time in about 6 months that we pumped less than we did last year.
Yeah.
I can go into association, right into association news, Basketball County, Water Utilities Association. Having a fundraiser Monday, golf tournament fundraiser, dinner kind of thing, New England Waterworks, the American Waterworks sector, New England Waterworks Association, which is a section of American Waterworks, because they got absorbed kind of like. It's having a 2-day conference at the end of the month at the Encore in Boston. I will not be attending that, but it's available if anybody would like to know a little bit about it. Mass Waterworks and Mass Rural Water are both doing classes. As I said last year, this is a re-up year, and we got to get them TCHs and everything there. As a matter of fact, one of the classes is next Wednesday, I think, and it's sending the new guy Keegan. It's a mark out and line locating class. We had no new services.
Excuse me, if you need to look at that, just turn.
It was there was an alert and couldn't see where it came from. So yeah, we're good.
Sorry, all right, that's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. There were no new services, but we did have 2 replacement services in the month of September. No leaks. The antenna lease, we have said we were gonna talk to a couple different people. We've sent an email to Mark Boudreau. I tried calling today and he never got back to me on it, so he was supposed to get back to me before the end of the day, but never did. I'll try him again and see what we got going on before we wanted to go through him to find out the statutory requirements or something like that before we send it to Attorney Manning.
Right, and this is about extending the lease.
Yeah, they want to extend it out to the, whatever the years is and everything. We did get another check for PFAS, the first installment of the DuPont money. It was $29,541.84. Which puts it right around, so far with the 3 payments we've got and the tiny escrow, it's around just under 194,000.
And right now that's in the general fund, or is it?
We haven't received the check, the check is supposed to be getting off. But Dave signed for everything, and yeah, and it should be, that's one of the things I was gonna be talking to Ray about, to make sure he puts that account aside for us, because we reminded him about it at the last Prudential Committee meeting. And he has said that he's kept it aside separately in the general fund right now.
And I am tracking.
But, and.
Yeah.
But we would have to have a bylaw to move it into our stabilization fund.
Yeah, I don't know if we could use it for that, because I think that it's supposed to be earmarked. It would have to be rewritten, yeah, something like that, yeah.
How did we handle MPBE?
The MTD money, we just put into the general fund, we never got a thing from it. Yeah. Let's see, I'm gonna keep the voluntary restrictions on out there. We're still about a foot, less of water in the ground right now than last year. 1.5 feet from the year before. So it's still below the active limits for the summertime of putting out a, restrictions, even with the rain that we've been having. Other than that, there's really nothing there. I did myself on the back because Jen pushed me enough that we get some money from Progressive Insurance for a guy who did a fire hydrant to replace the fire hydrant and have a new one installed because it broke. So we went after him and finally I got it's almost like a little bit $8,000 coming from them in the next 7 to 10 business days.
Wow.
It's great. And that concludes that.
Any questions for superintendent? Do we have any indication that voluntary conservation is even noticed by the building?
I will say yes, just because I do get phone calls sometimes from people saying, what can I do when my neighbor doesn't do what I do?
That's the Katuitt spirit.
Will you go out there and talk to them? And I'm like, I could try.
I mean, less water than last year in September, but it's still a lot, I mean, if you look at the last 5 years, it's very similar to, I don't know, I just continue to be astounded that it doesn't matter what we do with the rates, we're just gonna water it, just seems to be the way.
And yeah, we're on track to have a bigger year than last year in terms of use.
Yeah. Because most of these months are much higher. Yeah,
Total,
20, 22, 19.
yeah, we're 19.
Well, that's
Under-
missing 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing that really exceeds last year.
Okay, okay, any questions, Scott, comments?
No questions here?
So we'll do a little bit of out of order, we'll take up the sole source consulting proposal to do some groundwater modeling of well number 5. Well number 5 is the one out on Route 28 up against the Mashpee line. And it had, we had missed that when we were looking at the main well field previously for this kind of modeling. And so it was suggested that we would like to have some similar work done by the same consultant using the same methodology, presumably, to come up with a more defined zone of contribution for the well number 5. So, Mr. Cambereri, would you like to run through this? Is there anything that's different? Do you need any additional wells to be installed or anything to help with this? Do you want to come up and sit with us?
I want to make sure Scott
Bring a
can.
chair.
All right. Bring your mic.
Hi, yeah, so I put together the proposal, thinking that, we did the, Sampson's Mill, project, which, on page 2 is the map of the, central part of the model. You see all the, finer grid sizes that I put into the USGS model. And, basically, was able to, for that, using the Santuit River as kind of a boundary, which made a lot of sense hydrologically, to get this area like that. So now looking at well 5, we've got to move the finer discretization over and then you kind of better evaluate what's going on at Santuit River and seeing if there's any issues with Mashpee River over that way. And also kind of take into consideration what's going on with the Mashpee wells also that are in that area. So that's what I was proposing to do with this project. I didn't have opportunity to take a look at the existing wells or entertain the thought of putting in wells or remeasuring the water table. I guess I was thinking of using kind of existing data to do that.
Okay. Yeah, that well didn't have a lot of test wells, like, when it was done over a years of. Like 1 year, they went out and found out where they wanted to go, the next year they went in and actually put in the well. Then they brought the water main up another year, then they built the building the following year, you know, it was over a big crowd and everything. So, we do have a couple test wells for Stratford Ponds in between, with their old injection site and their new injection site. So, when they moved it outside of the zone two, we still have the old ones in there. I'm pretty sure we can still get into them. There was, I think. If you were to stand there and look, it would be to the. Maybe that's north, we could like the north, the west, there's four over there, or two over there, and there's one off to the northeast a little bit.
Okay,
High. Other than that, I don't know, there might be some out in the woods out there someplace, and you can find the book and.
oh, yeah.
Send you and Mark up there with the $5 bet to see who can find the pipe the quickest.
Yeah, well, that would, we get into looking at, want to reevaluate the observed water table. That would be something, additional to do, but I wouldn't be in a position to evaluate that till we, let's say do the first task and put together the information, review the data that's there. And see, on the other side is that, this is very well modeled aquifer. There's a lot known about it with the USGS. Even there was a more recent model than this, so it's possible to avoid that. Depending on what I see with the data and that, but I didn't anticipate doing that for this scope.
How do you find stream flow of the Santua River? Who measures that?
The USGS has done a couple of, has done measurements, and then there's also, I think the rivers, people out of Woods Hole, have included Santuit, as well. I did look at, some of that, but USGS has on, a number of, data points as well as a MEP, for their, study, measured, stream flow in all the streams for the watersheds to get an idea. They had to balance how big the watersheds were versus how much stream flow was coming out of the streams. So, at a base level, there's that, but I think there's a lot more data than that as well.
There was a gentleman that lived down in Truckbrook that used to, had conducted his own flow for Willow Bend when they put on the irrigation pit. The irrigation wells, and he would go down there and take pictures while it was running and everything else.
Yeah, I do remember that fellow.
Yeah.
At the commission, we often ran interference with that.
Yeah.
As to what he was doing, forget his name, Burke or something.
I got he gave me a whole packet of
Yeah,
stuff on it, to get it at the office someplace.
so he made enough of an event that, the Willow Bend did, do a number of hydrologic studies on the other side, put in wells and had a firm do measurements as well. I'm not sure whether we need to get into all that deal, but let's document it.
I think it's
this area.
fisheries, cold water fisheries that has a big flow on Santuit too.
Yeah. It's a cold water fisheries for Brown Brook,
Yep.
Sea Run Brown Brook trout.
Yeah.
At one point, maybe it still is.
There were a lot of alewives in there this spring that were dead on the banks and behind the grotto.
Really?
Oh, yeah, oh.
And, and they, fish and raccoons or something were gnawing on them, but they were definitely in the stream. But they go up to Santua Pond.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I used to get her out of that brook, was I growing up all the time, I got $3 a quart for
Yeah.
it, for a row.
I gotta say, I saw a lot of live, I just
Yeah.
saw dead ones this spring.
I saw it before that happened. I saw that happen before, and,
I think they were
Lovell's
dead-
Pond,
I think
they
were
get into
dead from
Lovell's Pond, I
predation.
think.
Not from pollution, but from predation.
Oh, okay.
Of gulls or whatever left them on the banks. That was my guess, but Anyway, it was nice to see they were in there.
Yeah.
Even if some of those didn't make it.
Yeah, there's some.
So this is a proposal, do you have a delivery date for this proposal?
No, I don't, didn't put the time frame on this. I think I was,
What, is it a winter project?
it would, work out for me if it was. So it's starting, kind of at the end of the year or something.
Well, I think
like
this
that.
is an important thing. I'm not sure if we could call it urgent. Would you call it urgent? So if you would give us a date in February, that makes sense.
Yeah, February, well, if they start, yeah, start in
Draft in February and then
Yeah.
we file in March. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
that way.
Not enough?
Mr.
It was-
Chairman,
Yeah.
Scott?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, sure, Scott.
Well, Tom, first of all, thanks for putting this together. This is great. I really think this will help us a lot to have this information. So thank you for taking the time to do this. I guess my only comments or questions are, in that this zone of contribution and zone 2 goes up into surrounding towns. And I don't know if it's just Mashpee or if maybe Sandwich is part of this too. But I notice on the map that I can't see right now that you guys have there. We only have the parcel information in Barnstable. It just kind of goes white, as I recall, on that board. So I noticed one of your deliverables is some maps. And I think it would be good to either, I don't know if it's you or we get somebody else to do it, but I think when you plot this information, it would be nice to have it on a similar base map, so we can at least see parcels and roads, like we can see in the Barnstable portion. I don't know if this is making sense, because I don't know if you guys have the maps there from up in the back, but if you recall, the only information we have is in the town of Barnstable on those maps, so it'd be good to have. And the second comment related to that is, we talked at a recent meeting about where the wastewater discharge is for the Stratford Ponds development, and my recollection is they moved it, and we pointed to a map last meeting, maybe it was, and I for one would like, I would
So
for
I think
one,
you're talking about Katuitt Meadows, right?
I'm sorry, Katuitt Meadows. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, and I'd like to have that clearly shown on these maps, because as I recall, it was just outside the zone 2, but it would be good to double check that. In fact, I think I asked that representative to send us a map, and he did do that. So maybe we can make that available to Tom, but it would be good to show, that's a point source. It's pretty darn close. And it would just be nice to have that documented on the map, I think, and whatever other sources you think are worth calling out, Tom, that you find are within the zone of contribution. And then finally, I noticed looking at, and I've got it in front of me right now, I always wondered, the zone 2 looks like the well is not centered in the zone 2. It looks like it's off to the east. The zone 2 is shifted to the west. And again, I'm not sure if you guys have a map there you can look at, but it would be nice to have you check that somehow. It just doesn't look like the zone 2 and the well are lined up correctly to me on the map. And it would be nice to, obviously, we want to, the real point of this, I think, is to show the difference between the zone of contribution under various pumping rates and the zone 2. But we want to make sure that we have the zone 2 correct. And I don't know who prepared that map we have the hard copy of, but I guess what I'm asking is if you can just look at that and double check it. And if need be, let's have a new one printed that's correct, because it looks funny to me. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Well, Scott, the zone 2 is already established before that, well went in.
I understand that, but what I'm saying, Chris, is the well, I'm looking at a map that I showed at a public meeting. And
Yeah,
usually the well is sort of in the middle of the most down gradient part of the zone 2, because the well pulls water from all sides.
yep.
But in that map, the zone 2 map, the well is over to the extreme right side. And again, without looking at the map, this isn't going to make any sense, but
So I'm showing it to Tom now. it's the pink, 800-foot radius, well, you're right, it shifted over to the
It
east.
just looks odd to me.
Yeah.
Could
I
it be
would say
anything to
so.
do with the, Earth's rotation, Scott?
Well, I'm just saying, it would be nice to get this checked. This is very much related to this work Tom's gonna be doing.
I mean, it's the same with our well three.
I know, I was gonna make that point too, but Tom, we're not focused on that right now.
Yeah, yeah, that's
But I think it would be
interesting.
worth just double checking Tom, get your input on that. Maybe, I don't know where that map came from. Are you guys looking at the hard copy map now, Mark?
Yeah, that
came from
GHD.
Yeah, well, maybe there was something wrong there. So all I'm asking is if you could check this, and if we need to fix it, let's fix it at the same time you're doing this
Yeah,
work. All right?
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because
yeah,
what I'd like to see is your, zones of contribution relative to the zone twos. And if the zone twos are wrong, then we're, heading off in the wrong direction here.
Yeah, I did that for the Sampson's Mill report. We did the
Yep.
variety of different pumping conditions, including zone two. And I believe we compared it to the zone two that's existing.
Right.
So that would be in a normal course of what we'll do here. And a lot of the the layers you're talking about for the parcels, that's available as a shape file from the state and
Yep.
as well as the wastewater treatment plant, shape files and that. So that'll be, what I envision would be you're using those to, satisfy your request for these additional, information in this map.
So what
All right,
is
thanks.
fine about, see how the parcels are shown here?
Yeah,
So putting that on Mashpee at least, and
right.
if you need to go up to Sandwich.
Yes, yeah, yeah, like that is very unusual. I don't know what they were using for this model, whether they were thinking, they were getting recharge from Santuit River that goes up a little bit,
Yeah,
up-
what's not shown on there also is that Mashpee has a zone two that cuts on the other side of that. Comes down, it
Yeah.
comes over, and there's like a V in between there at that area, piece of pie right there, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, so we'll take a look at that and take those into consideration, the Mashpee wells and that, yeah, because because it's not even showing Santuit Pond, right? A little further up,
Right.
is probably, where the
Yeah, it should be.
Santuit Pond's kind of like up in here.
To the back.
So, yeah, so it'll be,
Yeah, this is just a Katuah map, that's why, so it doesn't have any other stuff in Mashpee or Marston's Mills, it just has some of the,
This map is actually more for the distribution system.
yeah.
And it threw on the wells. But I bet they didn't really bother too much about the zone two. It's not really. It's just like an add-on to the main feature of the system.
yeah, I've got the state zone 2 layer. I'm gonna look at it tonight. This is kind of very hard.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you see what I'm talking about, Tom.
Yeah.
Every time I look at the map, it strikes me, I'm thinking, while we're getting this work done, let's just get it all squared away.
Okay, so there's a proposal, cost estimate of $9,350, sole source consulting, with the delivery date of April 1st. For a draft. For a draft.
Yeah, yes.
We want to get it done within this fiscal year, so.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So April 1st, and then that'd be a draft, and then, by our May meeting, we'll have a final. So is there a motion to accept this proposal from Sole Source Consulting?
So moved. Oh, second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consulting contract, and this money would come out of the engineering budget.
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, it's unanimous. So thanks, Tom, appreciate you putting this together for us.
Thank you. Yeah, it'll be a pleasure to work with you.
Are you gonna make, smaller squares for well 5 as you did over here?
Yes, I am.
Oh, boy, no. Did you use ruler for that, or how do you do that?
I'll work with a computer program, have them, they do it for me. It's like, I'll probably use AI, tell you the truth.
Looking through a window screen.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, so we'll go back up. Source water protection, test wells, CWMP update. Scott.
Yeah, so very quickly, we had a pretty productive meeting last month and we're heading towards the finish line. Our goal, in fact, we have a date. I don't know what it is, but it's early December where I'm going to be presenting our findings to the town council. In fact, I'll send that date around. I should give that to you. So we've got one more meeting, although we may end up scheduling a second. And I'm in the process of writing sort of the recommendations now that we'll present at a November meeting. It looks like, I mean, just to quickly, it looks like we are going to look at requiring these EIA or NR septic system upgrades within 1,000 feet of the shoreline throughout the nitrogen sensitive areas, with the exception of phase 1 and phase 2 sewers. So there's a lot in that sentence I just said. The bottom line is for our area, Katuitt, all of that is nitrogen sensitive and none of it is in phase 1 or 2. So that means all the shoreline areas will be upgraded to these systems based upon some triggers like expanding a house, failed system, new construction, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the primary recommendation, but there's going to be other recommendations as well. One of the areas that perhaps most pertinent to us is and again, I always forget the name, Mariners Circle, is that the right name of the area we've been talking about upstream of our main?
Little River Estates.
Little River Estates.
Little River Estates. Okay, so we remember we had that presentation and that's the plan, to sewer that. But I have to say that at our last meeting, there's also discussion about phase 3 maybe not happening or not happening in full because of costs, et cetera, et cetera. So I for one am unconvinced that we have a strong commitment to sewer that area. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm just saying it's not a done deal, I don't think. So I just kind of wanted to report that back here because I think we do want to get something done with that area. So I guess my suggestion would be stay tuned. Town council is probably going to take this up in December and thereafter. And I know that it's still struggling with options to expand the treatment plant because of the disposal issue. You may remember we talked, they're phase 1 and phase 2, it looks like they can take care of it. Phase 3, which I think the stage areas are related to, there's a more significant treatment and disposal issues, including, I think we talked about this, sending the treated water back to homes. So there's some obstacles here, I guess is what I'm suggesting, to getting this area sewered. Rob Steen did tell me a couple times that we could push harder to try to get that so-called stage area, maybe to even come before phase 3. And that could happen. I don't know how it can happen. He mentioned at one point even contributing money towards it. I don't know if that's appropriate or not, given that it's a town project. But I just wanted to report that, I think that area is still uncertain as to when and if it's actually going to get sewered. So I come back to what I had suggested earlier, that maybe we want to have a backup plan for an alternative treatment system. But yeah, so I'll stop there and see if there are questions or comments.
So I think what we heard at the forum at the church earlier this fall was that there were good intentions to bring that out.
Yes.
And you're saying maybe they're backtracking on that already, or it's still uncertain. And I
Well,
would say
they're not backtracking. I think the committee is raising questions about maybe there's an alternative approach. And the first step being, instead of sewering all of phase 3, which is primarily Marston's Mills, maybe that can be treated with these on-site septic upgrades, et cetera, et cetera. I just don't know how much of that, if that plan changes, how that might change this area. Because it's sort of related to phase 3.
Yeah. Well, don't you think it's too soon to be planning a backup when we don't even know what their decision is?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, this could go on for a while. This is, and the other thing is, remember, this is about 20 years out.
Yeah,
If everything goes right. So I, for one, still remain concerned that these septic systems in that area continually tribute to our water supply. So I'm not, I heard, I was there obviously at that presentation. It didn't make me sleep better based upon my ongoing concern. So I guess let's see how things go. I'll keep you informed, but I just wanted to report that I think it's questionable when this is going to happen and if it's going to happen.
will you have a draft of these recommendations to the town council that would be public before you present them, or would that be the first time they would
Well,
be seen?
That'll be the first time, but I can certainly share them with you guys beforehand. That might make sense because there's obviously some overlap. And I guess I got to be careful which hat I'm wearing too when I write this thing, right? In terms of, I guess I can maybe I can put something in there about the Katuah Water District as a concern. That might be worth doing, right? But yes, I can share those with this committee.
Yeah, and let us know when that presentation will be, because
I will.
I think we should alert all the water commissioners and superintendents that they should have, they should tune in. I think this is an important part of your, the long-range plan for the town, and it certainly affects all of us.
Right. It's
December
this December 11th.
Oh, it is.
It's a Thursday, I think 6 o'clock.
Okay. Anything else on that?
No,
Okay, conservation restriction, nothing. The attorney that was handling that has left. I trying to engage with the new one, Tom LaRosa. He's just not very responsive. I'm gonna have to go and knock on his door. The town attorney's door is the only one in town hall that has a lock on it. You can't just walk in. Really, you have to knock on the door and call the number, even though they're sitting right behind the door. The full group, enabling legislation for the change to the enabling.
No change on the State House website. Letter has been sent to Senator Sear. No response as of yet.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, can I add something related on this? I got an email from John Habel today, who is the new chair of our Prudential Committee, I guess, right? Is that right?
No.
And I'm sorry?
No.
I think he's the chair. He's just a new member.
Say again? Sorry?
Not the chair, apparently.
He's not. Oh,
Mark Lynch.
Mark Lynch is still the chair, I believe.
okay. I misread his email then. But in any case, he's putting together the policy committee meeting, which I'm part of. I'm the designee this year, and we're shooting for November 4th. So I just want to ask, since we probably won't meet again before then, if there's anything that the other commissioners can think of that I should bring to the attention of the Prudential Committee, or that subcommittee, I should say, the policy committee. And I thought of it relative to what Dave was just reporting on with the legislation. But is there anything else? I guess we're going to get into the
Well, that's for the purview of the bylaw committee.
yeah.
I'm representing.
Okay. Okay.
I'm never quite sure what the policy committee does.
Well, maybe that's my question.
Yeah, well, you'll find out if you have a meeting.
All right. So nothing anybody can think of that I should bring to their attention.
So the legislation has to go through the House first and then it goes to the Senate, or it's not.
It's cleared the House, been referred to the Senate, is now in Senate rules, which is basically the proofreader of the language to make sure that it's worded correctly, doesn't conflict, et cetera. So it's my suspicion is they suddenly just release everything up in a torrent.
Yeah, probably in December.
Well,
Before they
I
go home.
believe the session expires next month.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
Stay tuned on that.
that's sticky.
We talked about the hydro geo study, the pipe replacement. So what we've done in the last month, Chris, is I've collected some thoughts and comments, questions from the commissioners, which I'm gonna put in writing for you. And what I'd like to do is to give them to you, and then if we have time at the next meeting, just let you verbally respond to the questions, and we can collate that, and we'll have answers to the questions. And if there's more that needs to be researched, we can do that, but I think you probably have it all in your brain, we just need to dump it. So, instead of asking you to make a written response, I think if we would just have a conversation about it.
All right, yeah,
And,
then send that the list out to me
And then we have, maybe an adjunct to the minutes that would have like a FAQ kind of format agenda, but, have it for our people that are interested, like me. And it may spark other things that we need to consider, with the water main, so. I was curious just on the map. I didn't know part of our system goes into Marston's Mills.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I've been here for 8 years, I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, we used to charge them double amount of water because they didn't pay taxes, so they got, instead of $72, they got $144. And then John Anderson said, that's not a great fare to them. He said, don't do it, so they stopped it, but if you live in Katuitt and you're fed by a hospital, they still charge you double. Yep, they didn't take it away, they keep it.
So see, there are all sorts of anomalies like that. Okay, rules Russian where angels fear to tread. We have a discussion about sick time. So fortunately, we have somebody who loves to dive into these details. And if we didn't, I don't know what we'd be doing. We'd be spinning our wheels because it's very hard to understand. And Commissioner Cherbuck has been able to deep dive into the history of your policy and some ideas onto what we might recommend.
Well, Ms. Nash has provided me with the background, and I'm indebted to her for giving me the background on how we got to this point. This memo is in draft mode, and it's premature because, as you see, it seeks the answer to 5 questions that I posed to the attorney who reviewed the employee handbook for us in 2023, Michael Pierce. After some delay, he got back to me late last week to say that he has been tied up in trial and will try to have answers to me before our next meeting next month. Tonight, if there are any questions you'd like me to add to Attorney Pierce, I'll review the ones that I put down. How do other municipalities account for and fund benefits such as accrued sick leave? 2, should an eligible employee retire or pass away, how soon must such accrued benefits be paid to him or her or their estate? 3, would the language in the employee handbook be amended to state that an employee planning on retiring must inform the Board of Water Commissioners of their intention to do so within the next fiscal year, beginning July 1st, so that the amount owed to the employee could be reflected in the next year's budget and be presented to the voters of the district at the next annual district meeting? 4, if the board was to vote to rescind the accrued sick time benefit, what would be the appropriate language for a motion to do so? would the benefit cease as of the date the motion to rescind the benefit was passed, or would the benefit cease at the end of the current calendar or fiscal year? Or 5, if the Board of Water Commissioners decide to continue the benefit, what would be the best mechanism to fund the accrued liability? And I put in the parenthetical statement that that question may be best posed to the treasurer. So we have to wait for Attorney Pierce to come back with an opinion on those questions, but any issues I haven't anticipated, please let me know and we will pass them along to.
So sometimes in number 3, you might have an employee who didn't know he or she wanted to retire, kind of forced to because of health reasons or something that might be in the middle of the year. So, must inform,
Or
must is a fairly strong,
should,
never there.
Well, I would, yeah, I have a friend who, worked at a fire district for many years. And, he got ill. And he used his entire sick time, basically, all the way down through till he got, until it was time that he finally got his sick, retirement, or whatever, instead of his, it's not called retirement at that point, it's,
Disability.
disability, yeah. So he got disability from being sick and on the cancer from being a firefighter, basically. And they took him so long that they kept paying him all year with his sick time until it was almost gone. He said at that point, he said, I might have been able to get $3. He said, or something like that. He goes, I used so much sick time, he said that, I got paid for an entire year just about while I was waiting for the, to come in.
But I would say if there is a unanticipated retirement in the middle of a fiscal year, that person's salary is also still remaining, so it is likely, depending on how many days they have accrued, that their remaining salary would cover the retirement payout, the sick time
it's
payout.
a good point. It's a good point.
So the way I read the district bylaw, they talk about a specified percentage, and we have a specified percentage. So that's not a conflict, we're just interpreting their bylaw in a specific way. With the,
I have kind of a question. I don't know if you've heard it all, that Ryan was supposed to look through and see some notes to see if it was ever brought to Prudential Committee. I don't believe he found anything.
who's Ryan?
Ryan,
The
the
new
assistant
assistant
superintendent,
treasurer.
I'm assistant.
Assistant
Treasurer.
treasurer,
He hasn't mentioned if he found anything,
not to me, no.
but I don't think it needed to be brought to them originally. Because it states in the bylaws that all contracts are signed by Prudential Committee except for water department contracts.
Specifically.
So our employees have a contract that describes this.
That's the thing, and really considered it, is it a contract or is it a handbook? We made them sign it.
It's a handbook, but they have to sign a form.
They have to sign
that
for it.
they've
They say they
received
read
a
it.
copy of it.
Yeah.
And we would hold them accountable to anything else in it.
Right, I remember having to sign when they changed everything to this. I think it's in my personal record.
Yep.
Personnel file.
And if I may, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I've gone back and forth on the policy, but I think in retrospect, it's a generous policy that rewards longevity. And Superintendent Wiseman is a testament to that longevity, and I think it has served a good purpose. I think that really the issue before us is the fear on the part of the Prudential Committee that a sudden retirement would lead to a sudden shortfall. And perhaps, I'm conjecturing, a special district meeting with a special warrant article to rapidly fund it. And that's what I'm hoping to try to get the answers to from Attorney Pierce.
So wasn't that fear on the treasurer's part before he realized that we have a 25%.
Yes, his initial apprehension was a $300,000 liability, not a $71,000 liability. And the precedent that Ms. Nash referred to when her predecessor retired was that it was covered in the subsequent salary budget voted on at the annual district meeting. So I think, and I also think that the record shows that the past prudential committees have been well aware of this. Because it was printed in the 2012 annual district, the annual report, which is prepared by and approved by the prudential committee. All of which points out that continuity is a challenge in the district. And thank heavens that we have what records we do have to remind us of past decisions.
Well, I think it's good that we've taken this bull by the horns and tried to think through it. I think the ball is in the prudential committee's court, after we get these answers to the questions. There's no reason for us to do anything unless we're
No, I think this.
told that something has to be modified by the prudential committee. Otherwise, I think we have a policy. It's not inconsistent with the district, which says a specified percentage, and we have a specified percentage, so I don't know. And we made them aware of that, and have they been barking about it since?
No, did not come up in the Monday meeting.
But I think these questions are valid to be answered, and we can hire him with our legal budget.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I think as a courtesy, to the prudential committee to at least have some answers to these questions ready. And so I propose that I attend their next meeting in November, hopefully with the answers and the approval of the fellow commissioners.
And I would just remind them that every employee except for the chief over the fire department has a 25% buyback, but there's a limit on it.
Right. Right.
So, I mean, I don't, what do they plan on doing if one of their guys retired quickly over there with the 200 sick days they could have, or whatever it is, 120, I think it is, something like that.
Well, I think in addition to two things, if I could add, one being, it is a very good incentive to encourage good attendance for employees of the district to save those sick days till an end, till a buyback. But second to that, when I first started, they asked me for that compensated absence report, which makes me think at one point under one of our previous treasurers, it was funded. If it didn't come up in an audit report before that, how was it handled then? Because this policy's been in place for 30 years at this point. How has it been funded in the past? And if it wasn't, why were they asking for that report? So something's a little out of alignment there in my eyes.
That plus the fact that apparently it has been flagged in the past by auditors, but not brought to the board's attention.
Interesting.
All right.
Okay, well, thank you for
The advisory stuff right there.
I gotta ask if there's any public comment from anyone? No. Okay, thanks for coming. And,
Review the minutes.
yep, we're gonna do that.
Sorry.
I just wanted to butt in to ask for public comment.
He's getting hungry over there.
Yeah, I know. So we have meeting minutes of September 24th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
That's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of September 24th, 2025. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Approved unanimously. Anything else anybody wants to bring up?
Well, I guess I just want to go back to this recent discussion in my upcoming meeting. David, could you just explain, is this not part of what they might want to talk about? Because you know a lot more about this than I do. And you don't think this fits into, I was looking again at the email from John. It's policy subcommittee, which he's acting chair of. That was my mistake. And he is sending a copy of the bylaws around as part of that. So I just want to make sure that I'm prepared for this meeting. Do you see any connection to the recent discussion we just had and what might be discussed at that meeting?
No, my understanding of bylaws is there is nothing in there about employee handbook policy type of matter.
Okay.
The policy committee, however, historically had looked at normalizing employee handbook or policies across all departments. That effort went nowhere and got dropped when the fire department went professional.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we need to set a date, typically the third Wednesday.
17th.
Is that not, that doesn't conflict with?
Oh, wait.
Right, I'm like, I'm done the night.
Yes, the 19th.
When is Thanksgiving, the following week?
Yeah,
Okay, so we'll say the 19th.
works for me.
Okay. So
Yeah,
the next meeting would be November 19th, Wednesday at 5:45 here. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Moving adjourned.
second.
Okay, move second to adjourn at, I can't see that. But it's
6:40.
6:40, new record,
think
under new
so.
management, apparently.
Mission.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, unanimous. Meeting's adjourned at 6:40.
Nice, good.
Where you going?
What's